Alright guys, so first things first, we're going to start off with a fresh face. We are going to use some glue to put down our brows. We're not using it to conceal them, we're just using it to flatten them out a little bit. Next, we're going to apply a primer to the face. You can use any type of primer that you want. Here I'm using a NYX Cosmetics primer, which I'll list everything in the description box. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a white liner and I'm going to start outlining the shapes that I want. You can pretty much decide what shape you're going to do. Here I'm just cutting out the neck itself. I'm going to be doing stripes on the neck. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start outlining our bow. You can do this as big or as small as you'd like. I do mine a little bit smaller, but once I actually start painting it, I sometimes go outside of my lines. So don't worry if it's not even. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly conceal the brows. Make sure that your brows are completely dry before you apply any type of product on top of them, or it's just going to crumble up and you don't want that. Now I'm just applying a foundation to my face and blending it out with the same beauty blender or sponge, whatever you'd like. The foundation color doesn't have to match. Here I'm actually using one that's slightly darker than my skin tone, just to give me a more of a yellow undertone. And you're basically just going to blend, blend, blend until you get the desired consistency that you'd like. If you want something a little bit more opaque, I would definitely suggest using something a little bit thicker. But for this look here, I'm just going to keep to something a little bit lighter. That's until we get into the contour. So what I'm doing now is putting that white cream base to the highest points of my face. I'm going to be highlighting with this color, and I'm just going to blend that out with the beauty sponge. So the next thing we're going to do is contour, and I'm going to take a small blending brush and I'm just going to blend everything out. So the next step is going to be to set the makeup itself. I'm going to be using a white translucent powder. It's a little bit more on a white base instead of a yellow tone. I want this to be a little bit brighter, so I'm definitely going to let this sit for a little bit. I'm going to be taking a brown shadow now. I'm going to be taking that to my crease all the way to the top of my brow bone and dragging that down my nose. Now we're going to go in with a deeper brown. I'm just going to make sure that we accentuate the outer corner on both sides. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking the same cream paint and an angled brush and I'm dragging the product upward to make it more of a triangle shape instead of a round. I'm going in with a golden peach tone and tapping that all over my lid. So first things first, I'm going to do my liner. I'm going to make it a little bit more extravagant and a little bit thicker than usual, and I'm just going to go ahead and wing it all the way out. I'm going to now connect the triangle to my liners. Drag the paint itself from your wing all the way under your waterline. It's completely up to you whether you want to do the exact same thing on the other eye. I'm going to be taking a matte black I'm going to be blending all of my lines out on my liner and the triangle itself as well. So now we're gonna move all the excess powder that we have on our face. I feel like it's been sitting there for a little bit, so now we're just gonna get rid of it. Now we're gonna go in with contour. I'm gonna take this reddish brown powder and I'm going to basically carve out the hollows of my cheeks. I'm going to take a yellow eyeshadow and apply that to the apples of my cheeks. I'm going to take a liquid illuminator and apply it right to the highest points of my face and blend it out with a sponge. To give ourselves a little bit more of a clown nose, I'm going to take that reddish brown tone and I'm basically going to concentrate that to the tip of my nose in a circular motion. I'm going to be taking a black matte eyeshadow and I'm going to apply that to the hollows of my cheekbones and just dragging that down. Not too far to blend in with the other colors, but just making sure that we concentrate that to the top of our cheekbone. Taking the same matte black, we're going to apply that under our waterline. I'm going to be applying this deep red shade to my lips and just filling it completely in. With the same black face paint, I'm going to draw a line from the corner of my lip and dragging that outward towards my cheek on both sides. We're going to take the same matte black eyeshadow and we're just going to fill in those empty spots and blend it into the lip. I'm taking a black kohl pencil and I'm basically just filling in my brow. I'm not making it any different as far as the shape goes. I'm just giving it a little bit more color. I'm going to take a gold face paint and apply 2 little dots on the apples of my cheeks. So I'm going to be taking a white eyeliner and applying that to my waterline. Our next step is going to be applying a little bit of detail. If you follow me on social media, then you know that I really love doing dots on everything that I create. So that's what we're going to do here. Now, if you want to do something different, then go ahead and do so, but I really like the way the dots kind of make it look a little bit more of a clown look instead of just a beauty look. Again, going in with a gold eyeliner and I'm sporadically placing dots around my entire face. I'm going to be applying a coat of mascara to my top and bottom lashes. Alright, moving on to the chest. First things first, we're going to start with the bow tie. I'm going to be using a maroon face paint. I'm just going to fill in my outline that I have already made from earlier. Like I was saying earlier, I sometimes outline things and I don't necessarily fill them in exactly to proportions when I'm painting, and that's totally okay. I do make a lot of mistakes when I'm body painting, but that's how I learn to kind of create things that are unique to me. Here you'll see an example of me making a little bit of a mistake. As you see right here, my paint is starting to drip, and it actually drips so much that it goes down into the chest area. So what I do is I just incorporated it and made it fit to the exact look that I'm doing. So I'm just taking that same maroon color with a little bit less water and just outlining the bow tie itself and filling it in so it's a little bit more opaque. We're going to be applying horizontal lines on the neck in 3 different colors. I'm going to be using gold, black, and white. All I'm doing is following the actual shape of my neck. You can have a better pattern than I do, but I just kind of went in for it and started applying the color where I saw fit. And we're just going to continue the same process until we reach the bow tie. After you finish the patterns that you desired, I'm going to take a brown shadow and I'm going to basically start blending everything in together. My shirt actually rubbed onto the wet part of paint and basically ruined it out of place. So what I did is I just took my finger and I started to drag all the areas that were still wet just to make everything a little bit more cohesive. This kind of shows you that even though you made some type of mistake, there are still ways to fix it to make sure that you have a completed look at the end. So I'm going to take the black face paint and I'm basically going to carve out the rest of my neck and my shoulders. We're going to be taking a matte black shadow and making sure that we blend everything down into our stripes and spider webs. I went in with a black face paint and basically did the exact same thing, just making sure that I blended the black all the way down into the stripes and the spider webs itself. So we're now going to create a splatter effect onto the look itself. What I like to do is I like to pour a generous amount of water to whatever paint I'm using, and I basically just grab my brush and scrape out the product and then gently tap my brush against my face to give myself a splatter paint look. Here I'm taking a liquid white eyeliner and I'm just applying little highlights around my face. We're going to be applying white dots onto the striped area of the chest. Again, if you don't have the patience for dots, don't do them, but I happen to love them, so we're just going to keep doing them until we cannot apply any more dots. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to apply some very fluttery eyelashes. So now for finishing touches, I'm actually going to put my hair up in a little bun so I can apply my wig. I am going to place my bald cap on, making sure that I tuck in all my little hairs. I'm going to try and make it as big as possible. Definitely remove any and all bobby pins if you have any in your wig. Now we're just doing our finishing touches. You can decide on what headpieces you guys would like to wear. Mine is from H&M, and this is actually my daughter's headpiece, and I just decided to borrow it for this look. This pretty much completes the entire look. Again, you can change the colors up, you can change the shapes up, and just make it completely your own. I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and definitely subscribe to our channel. Make sure that you guys are looking out for all of our new stuff, and everything that I used in this video will be listed in our description box.